Introduce yourself, please.
Hey there, I'm Richard Diamond.
Richard Diamond. And what type of dealership did you visit?
I visited a Honda dealership today.
This morning or last night?
This morning.
Awesome. Dressed just like this.
Just
I love
like
it.
this. Went there at 9:30 this morning.
Okay.
Got on the lot. I got out of my car, walked around for a few minutes, walked over towards the used cars.
Okay.
Parked there right in the front so they could see me, pull right up. I didn't give them eye contact. I walked directly towards the used cars. I was greeted probably within less than 2 minutes.
Great. Tell me exactly how the greeting went down, what was said.
It was very good. The guy greeted me. He welcomed me.
Awesome. I love it.
It was the very first thing he said to me. He said, welcome. And then he introduced himself and asked me my name, which I gave to him. And then from there, I basically told him I was sitting there looking at a car.
Okay.
I was looking at a Honda. And then he asked me what I was doing there today. And I told him I'm here looking at the used cars.
Right.
Me and my mother are both looking at upgrading to a newer vehicle.
Me and my mother.
Me and my mother.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
okay.
because I wanted to use that. And so I told him I'm looking to upgrade not only myself but my mother. He then asked me, what are you looking for? What are you wanting to do? I said, I'm looking for a car that I can get a good economic value out of, get good gas mileage for my money. I want to get the most bang for my buck.
Right.
And then he started showing me a couple of vehicles that was like right there in front of me. He said, well, you're right in the right place. Here's the Honda Civics. We have the Accords over here. That's probably about what you're looking for.
Okay.
I mentioned to him that my family in the past has owned a lot of Hondas.
Right.
And he tied that in. He said, we don't want to ruin that tradition.
Right.
And then he started showing me some of the other Accords. Because
Okay.
I told him I would like a four-door. He asked me, do I have any kids? He asked me about my lifestyle to find out, do you need more room for you and a family?
Okay.
And I told him I'm a single guy, but I would like the idea of having 4 doors because I do go around and show houses from time to time. I told him I was in real estate.
Okay. So let me ask you this. He's showing you a bunch of vehicles. At some point in time, did you land on one of those vehicles?
The last one we were on, I did like it a lot, but he didn't go into depth about it. As a matter of fact, the one thing that I was disappointed in was he was a little confused in the car. He had a sheet of paper that had a lot of vehicles written down on it. And he had told me, I'm going to show you this car. When we walked over to it, it was not the car that he told me he was going to show. And then when he started looking at it further and further, he realized that.
Okay.
He did cover up his tracks, though. He said, I apologize, this is the EX model.
Right.
And then he went over that EX model. I like the car.
Right.
And I mentioned to him, I like the room. I like it has everything that I'm looking for.
Sure.
He went over the price of the car. And it was a little more out of the range than what I had told him.
Well, of course, because there's no interview and we haven't determined the right car and budget, any of that stuff.
Out on the lot. He never brought me in.
Okay.
I didn't feel pressured. That was one thing I was happy with. I did not feel pressured, but he did not do a proper job of finding out exactly what I wanted. He did ask me the questions, but we probably could have ignored it.
How did the whole thing end?
It ended with, I explained to him, he did ask me, when are you looking to do something? I said, we're actually looking to do something this weekend, possibly. And we had walked past my car, which is an older car that has a lot of body damage to it.
Sure.
And I said, I might be wanting to trade. I don't know. Y'all take something like that and trade. He said, sure, we'll take a look at it.
Right.
And then I told him I now have some information to go back to my mother. And he said, well, talk to your mother, bring her back, and bring your car back.
Oh, wow.
We'll take a look at it then and get a trade-in value on it.
Okay. So let me ask you, Richard. Well, did you meet a manager on the way out?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you get a business card?
I did.
Okay. Did you ask for it?
I asked for it.
Okay. Did now during
he gave it to me up front.
Did he offer you a test drive? I know you were short in time, but he'd offer you a test drive.
He did not.
He just said, "Come back with your car."
I'm going to be quite honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I parked my car up front.
Okay.
I did that on purpose because I look at it and I see body damage, and me personally would have been like,
did he mention anything about warranty or the service department?
That was one of the things that I was very happy with that he mentioned.
Okay.
He sold that powertrain warranty, the powertrain. He said, if you buy a used car from us for 50,000 miles, if it's 50,000 miles or less, it has a lifetime warranty on the powertrain.
Right.
He said, however, all of them have up to 100,000 miles.
So he did a good job there. What about after the sale, the service? Did he back it up with service hours or anything?
Was mentioned. He didn't. He mentioned extended warranties when he was talking about the powertrain, but he did not mention anything about the service department or anything like that.
Do you remember yesterday I told you about Joe Average, and he comes in 2 forms? Joe Average is the guy, the old seasoned vet that just doesn't really care and skips steps, or Joe Average is the guy that you run into. Great attitude, actually polite, personable, not pushy, reliable, dependable, shows up and work on time. But he just doesn't have quite control of the process.
I had more control of the process.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Now, it wasn't, I didn't have total control.
Well, but let me ask you this. Based upon just your 1 day of training, 1 day of training so far, what would you have done differently?
I would not have continued the process out on the lot for the very simple fact that, and I would have probably had to explain myself to me more than likely. I would have been, look, this may not be comfortable with you, but why don't we walk inside and let's get your questions answered, and I've got some questions that I want to ask you.
I love that.
So that we can make an informed, intelligent decision for you.
Yeah, you just made that little approach and that segue and pivot to the desk. You just took personal ownership of that, what made you feel comfortable.
Because I don't want to waste his time no more than I know he doesn't want to waste mine.
Yeah, and that's okay by telling the customer that. They want to hear that.
Yeah, because that puts him at ease.
Yes.
It would have put me at ease had he done that to me.
Now, let me back up. Do you now, remember I told you it was a life-changing homework assignment? Okay, maybe you left here with some doubts, but let me ask you, in reality here, do you understand now why I had you do the homework assignment?
Absolutely.
Okay, now based just upon that 1 day of training, how much more confidence do you have?
A lot, because I can see, you know, the business I used to be in, there's reasons why we do things. We're not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
If you do think the simple things right, it pays off exponentially.
Amen. You know, you're not reinventing the wheel, you just want to make it go faster.
Exactly.
Right?
And improve upon that. And I think had he done that, it would have.
Without your 1 day of training, okay, and you would have just been a consumer, it wasn't a homework assignment, it would have been for real. You would have had no clue that he wasn't in control of the sales process.
I probably would not have. I would have had a clue because of my background. But as a consumer, this gentleman, he was not pushy.
Right.
He was personable. So he was not that guy that I just would have walked away and said, "There's no way I'm not going back to this."
Right. But you didn't leave with any information to make a decision.
I didn't leave with warm and fuzzies either.
Yeah.
This is a guy that if I had gone to 2 other places and if I'd had an equally experience, I would have come back to him. But if I found somebody else that may have done one other thing, just one thing more, that may have put my mind at more ease, I probably would have gone with them.
That's a great point, Richard, and that's reality. That's a great point.
Because he did a lot of good things, but the one couple of things that he didn't do might have been the thing that's most important to me, but he didn't do the process to find out what is most important.
Outstanding. I love it. You sound like you've been through just more than 1 day of training. So round of applause for Richard. All right.